Happy New Year, everyone. This is Andres for the Newsreel, and in this edition of the Tech Corner, I'm talking to those of you that are still holding on to the trusty BlackBerry 10 OS devices. This one's still mint to me, the Z30, but I'm not going to be using this for the prop. I want to use it for the intro because I'm going to be showing you a little thing here on both my Z10 and Q10 because as those of you should know, if you don't already know, you're finding out the hard way. BlackBerry is turning off a ton of services this year. It's the end of life for BlackBerry 10 as we know it, unfortunately. And as much as we love the OS, we're trying to hold on to it as long as we can. I had to let go of my passport when I had the chance just because to resell it on eBay at the time, well, it was still selling high. But I also knew that BlackBerry was turning off some services. A lot of third-party companies were jumping ship, just like those of that were on Windows Phone experienced the same thing. So I also have some Windows devices lying around, but unfortunately, some of the stuff isn't working anymore, which is very sad to say. I really love the OS and I really love these phones, which is why I held on to them for so long. But for those of you still looking to use this, because BlackBerry World as we know it is basically just a grave site, and the Amazon App Store is really just nothing, honestly. And what really angers me is that when you try to use the App Store, it tells you to update, which will then give you this, where you have multiple other apps. Now, you're probably noticing this right here, the Google Play Store. This is the Cobalt Google Play Store where you can get the Play Store on your BlackBerry 10 device, but unfortunately, this it doesn't really hold anymore. Sometimes the Play Store will load up like so, but then when you try to get to say download an app, let's just download whatever here. More often than not, the app itself is going to crash. So it says accept. I hit accept. Let's see if it lets me download, and there it goes. Google Play Store has stopped working. I have not been able to get it to work. As far as I know, that project by Cobalt is long since been non-supported. I even made a video about saying bye to BlackBerry last year around this time, I think. And it really is time to move on. But for those of you that don't want to let go of nostalgia, I come to show you perhaps another way to be able to get your Android apps that can still work on your BlackBerry device. I made some commentary on the BlackBerry Priv video, a 3 years later video. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to leave a link to that in the description down below and at the end of this video. But in that, I mentioned that for most of the known world, that device is still something that's worthwhile today. And that's because in other developing countries, and not just developing countries, but also modernized countries, they have Android One or a form of Android that even though it's not running, say, Android Pie of sorts, there are alternate apps that are same services that we have here. For example, Facebook and Facebook Messenger, Spotify, and Skype, for example. Over here in the United States, we're kind of spoiled to having unlimited data. We kind of argued to have that back once the carriers took that away, and in a way we got it back. But for other countries that did not enjoy unlimited data is very expensive, and some of these apps are just data hogs. So there have been some solutions to that in the way of, say, the light version of certain applications, such as Asia really uses Line and WeChat. But in the case of Line, Line does have a light version of it. Spotify, there exists a light version of Spotify. Same thing with Facebook and Messenger. And those are the apps that I installed here in my Q10. And for this, for just a reminder, the Android runtime that was never updated on this device is Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. Unfortunately, if it was 4.4, we've been rocking a lot of the latest apps as well. But for lack of better support, we have Android 4.3 on this device, which is why some modern apps will just fail to work on this device. But in using this app store up to down, I'm able to have access to some Android Play Store. You know what? Let me open it here. And while this one's loading up, I'm going to switch back to my Z10 or Z10 for those of you in Canada. Come on. All right, swipe up my finger. Okay, so when you land on the home screen, you're gonna see a bunch of the latest apps installed here. Now, just a word of caution, and this is always the story when you're side loading applications. For those of you that swear about BlackBerry security, you're throwing all that out the window when you're using third-party app stores that are not verified of apps, and you're installing it on your phone. If you really care about your privacy, you would not do this. But because you want to get the most out of your device, you probably are going to do this because, come on, there are no apps really to download from the app store, from the BlackBerry app world, especially when it's gone the way of the dinosaur. So over here, the sidebar, hold on, up. Okay, it didn't crash on me. That's another thing. It's that it's a lot of bugs on Android apps that operate on BlackBerry 10s because it's not being supported. But if you check it, I have a lot of different apps that I have had here. The only one I'm not updating though is Maps, because if I do so, I'm probably going to lose functionality, because you have to basically like it's what's that expression? Patch the Google services on the map in order to keep it working. So let me see if I can still launch Google Maps. Is it here? No, it's not. But if I launch Google Maps, it should be able to open. And while that's opening here, I don't want to be wasting just precious runtime. I will open this over here because you're going to see a WhatsApp error here. There we go. Your phone number is no longer registered to this device. This is probably of interest to you. Why is this popping up? Because WhatsApp is telling me that I have my WhatsApp running on another phone, because I don't have a SIM card on this, obviously. So what's that mean? Your mileage will vary. You can get WhatsApp to work on this device. So if you rely on WhatsApp, then this is probably one of the best ways to get it, which is up to down. Up to down, you can download WhatsApp when you search for it, and when you need updates for the apps, it'll pop up right here. As you can see, I recently installed it along with Spotify Lite, Messenger Lite, Facebook Lite, up to down, and Skype Lite, Line, and Line Lite. Now, there's one here that I'm going to be searching for while I am pulling up Google Maps on my Z10, and that is Instagram Lite, because even though this one's still in what is called beta, where is it? Instagram. There it is. So this is Instagram Messenger. We're looking for the light version of it. Let's see. All right, it's not popping up. Instagram Lite. There you are, Instagram Lite. Now we're going to download this and leave it downloading, and let's hope that it actually works. So this is how it will look like when you're trying to install an application using up to down, which I think is a pretty good app. The button would appear here, but if I'm not mistaken, the bottom would show previous versions of the application in case that one doesn't work. Yes, there it is. You can check out the versions over here. And if that APK is not working, you can actually downgrade, or they call rollback, to another one, which is this is why I like this app store. It works pretty well for a lot of the things that I used it for. So now I'm going to leave this guy downloading, and we'll see how that goes. And we know that these things could take a little bit of time. So we're going to go back to the Z10, and let's see if Google Maps did open for me. And so it did. So Google Maps works for me, as you can see. And I'm here at my office, so that's why it picks up my geolocation. That's considering that it's on Wi-Fi, and that's why it's pretty impressive that it's still here. And this is one of the reasons why I do not update the Google Maps app through here. Let's see, is anything else I could show you here? Not so much, but at least you can see up to down working on my Z10, which this one's actually running the older software of BlackBerry 10 versus the Q10. This one's running the latest update. That's also one of the reasons why I am not using the Z10, because the Z10, I had set it up throughout. It was ready to go. I was using it for my main device over the summer. And then what ended up happening is that it just crashed. The whole thing reset itself for some reason, and I lost all my data, which was a random accident. And it was through the latest software version of the BlackBerry 10 OS that was official. I haven't had that same issue happen on my Q10 for some reason, so I don't know what the deal was over there. Okay, this thing was downloading. Let's see if it did download or if it was interrupted. I don't know why this is showing up. Looks like it's not moving here. I wonder if this check mark here means it's verified by the service. Safety report, nothing available. Okay, so at least the App Store provides you some kind of safety net, so to speak, but they're telling you, hey, we didn't check it, so download at your own risk, essentially. Well, there's nothing happening here. So let me go to the download bar. It's not popping up here on this side. So let me get to it. There it is. I don't see it under pending. Pending should be right there. It's not showing up. Let's try that again. Maybe it'll appear here. Notice that there's some other apps that I wasn't messing with, such as Waze. Waze is somewhere in here. There it is, Waze control. But let's try Instagram again. That's not what I was looking for, man. Instagram Lite. Sorry, download failed. All right, there. It finally gave me an error message. Okay, so if let me try it one more time. I'll do so here, and I'll do so on the Z10 or Z10. I can't get used to saying that. I remember the Q10 and the Z10 are running two different operating systems, operating system versions. So maybe that might make a difference. Let's find out. Where is it? There it is. Search. I said search. Anytime now. I do feel that Android runtime runs a little smoother in my Z10 for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. This one's showing it's 100% downloaded, but it could hiccup for some reason. So let's see. They're both showing me the same versions of Android. I mean, the app. So it should be the same experience. But remember, this one's an older, the Z10's an older version of BlackBerry 10 OS. That could make a difference here. Okay, so now I'm just waiting for this one to actualize, to open up the next window. See, here's the thing. You guys use Android apps. So if you can, why not get one of the new BlackBerry devices that are made by TCL? Because you're already using it, but at least those are secured kernels and you can actually have access to the entire Android marketplace. Why deal with minutes worth of install time just to get something that's less than a megabyte big? You know, but again, it's because BlackBerry 10. I know the experience of BlackBerry 10 is unique. It's just trying to hold on to the past here. You know, it's like, to see how frustrating it is. And this is, generally speaking, what most people have. Now, you have a passport. I'm sure it's going to be a lot faster with with more gigahertz on hardware for the memory bank and also the gigabytes of RAM. I think there's 3 in the passport, if I'm not mistaken. This one only had about 1.5, where I think these two were like a 1.2 or 1. I don't remember. It's been a while. Don't quote me on that. You can just do a Google search. Okay, so this one was downloading, and then it just returned to the download button, so it might tell me it failed. So tell you what, I'm going to go to a lesser version of it. Well, this guy seems to be stuck on 100%, so it's not accomplishing anything, unfortunately. Well, that's a big jump from 23 to 26. So let's roll back. Let's see if this one gives me something. Hello. There we go. It's downloading. It says roll back. That means it was trying. There was a problem parsing the package. So it's not going to install. It failed. Okay. So I'm not even going to bother anymore because the last time I tried, it just kept giving me more error messages. And now it's going a little crazy. Okay. Here we go. Resume. Okay. Going to leave this guy resuming. I don't even know why it's resuming. It should have been done by now. And this guy is still stuck here. This one also says resume. Let's hit resume. And it's starting all over again. I'm probably not gonna have any success here, y'all. So I'm about to give up because I have not been able to successfully install Instagram Lite. But to show that this app store does work, because this one doesn't. On the Q10, I already finished updating all my apps. I'm just gonna finish updating one of the apps that I already had on the queue over here. Now, if only that thing pops up. Come on. See, it's doing something on its own. That's not me. Still catching up. There we go. It happens. Let's take one of the apps in here to see what works. For example, Facebook Lite. Let's finish updating that. And it'll take you to the Android app installer, which you hit update, and then you hit accept, and then you push through, and you should be okay. So while this guy's doing its thing, I'm going to show you how that experience appears over here, because I should be logged in, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Let's try Spotify Lite. The recent update to Spotify Lite actually broke functionality, so I keep getting this error message. It's gonna keep stopping, so I might have to roll that one back because it was working just fine. I was listening to Spotify. And here we go, Messenger Lite. I'm able to log in just fine. I'm not logged in on this device, so this one just finished installing. So let me open. I'm off frame just in case. I don't want to have to censor the video later. Still waiting. Oh, it doesn't look like I'm signed in on this one too for some reason. I guess because it's been a while, the cache kind of cleared itself out. So I guess I have to sign in again. Let me see if I can. See, still trying to open. Yep, it looks like it logged me out, but it's okay. I'll log back in. I have two-step verification now, so it's a little more cumbersome to log in, so that's why I'm not going to do so right now. But the point is, this app does not crash on me, and if it does, maybe a rollback will help. So I do happen to have Line Lite, Facebook Lite, and Messenger Lite, and they work just fine. That's how I'm able to continue experiencing, I guess, those Facebook services and chat services here. And let's see, there was another one I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, it looks like Spotify wasn't installed on this one, so I have to roll back the other one. But I was still able to use Groove, even though as of December it doesn't work anymore. But I wouldn't worry about that one. It still runs just fine on this guy, so I'll just leave that one working in the background. So over here, what else can I show you? I failed to get this thing working, but I do have Microsoft Office and Segovia's OneDrive, where I'm able to access my documents and stuff. I'm working on my book and things open just fine. For those who are not aware, I'm writing books, so I can continue writing my book here. So I do have my books that are in the works within this. I'm getting that other one working up. Ignore. Things still loading there. See? That's Microsoft Groove, and it still works. I won't play some music or else Google's gonna or YouTube's gonna block me. But I'm still able to work on my documents from here, and yeah. So Office Mobile still functions. Let's see. There was WhatsApp, connect to OneDrive. I use some of the cloud services from Android, and I get them from here. Let's see. Yes, that's about it. TuneIn Radio. This is actually the app for BlackBerry 10 that actually still works. So there's some apps that still work for BlackBerry 10, but you're still hanging on to this, and you want more out of your device while you're still able to use it. Then I can recommend, with extreme caution, up to down. I haven't experienced any hacking of sorts, but again, the risk is yours. Install if you want. I'm just doing a public service announcement for those of you that are still holding on to these, because otherwise, why not support BlackBerry and just go ahead and get one of the key ones or key twos or whatever key is available in your region, or motions, because that's just the best way to experience Android on BlackBerry, an actual Android device, or even a BlackBerry Priv. Yeah, those things are still around if you can find them in the bargain bin. So anyway, that's that, everybody. Thank you for watching. I have an announcement to make, but I'll be making it in the future video. So like, share, and subscribe to stay in the know, because you're going to want to know what's going on with the channel and what's to come. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great 2019.